Hey, what is up guys? Today we're checking out the Playarts Kai Final Fantasy 15 Aranea Highwind. So this is such a nice figure. I would say this is probably one of the best ones that they made. It's just such a great piece and I'm very happy to have it. So first up, let's take a look at the packaging of the figure, then we will take a closer look. Stay tuned guys. So here's the front of the packaging. We have a nice photo of the figure itself. And we have this Final Fantasy 30th anniversary sticker on the front. And here's the sides of the packaging. And the back, we have some screenshots of the figure itself. Very, very nice. It's a very nice design for a box. I love these old school Playarts Kai figures. And here we have the inside of the packaging. So just in case you guys want to read this, then by all means, feel free to pause and read. Quite a good bit of text here. And here's the inside of the packaging to showcase the figure inside the box with all the accessories. So we have the outer packaging, we have the figure with the staff on the back, and we have this super long tail piece which you can switch out. We've got this helmet piece and a couple pairs of hands, and we have the Playarts Kai stand in the back. So yeah, quite a nice variety of accessories. Okay, so let's take a look at the figure, and as I mentioned before, this is such a great piece. It's definitely one of the best they made from the entire line. You know, just super highly detailed, nice paint job, and I love the design of this character. It's also a pretty rare piece. This is, I would say, probably one of the most difficult to find if you guys are trying to hunt down these Playarts Kai figures. You know, it's become pretty rare in the past couple of years, so I just feel super lucky that I picked up this figure when it was first released at retail price. But anyhow, let's take a closer look at the head sculpt. And look at the clean sculpting, clean paint job. It's probably one of the best quality controlled Playarts Kai products that I've ever seen. It's just almost a perfect figure, at least in my opinion. But as you can see, the eyes are painted a very dark green. And we even have her eyelashes and eyebrows painted in there. The lips are painted a very light pink with a bit of gloss painted over them. And even the hairpiece is painted silver, and it's a bit shiny, which is the usual case with Playarts Kai figures. But in this case with Aranea, I think the shiny paint job on the hairpiece, it actually works pretty well and looks pretty good. Moving down here to the chest piece of the figure, and check out all that detail. I mean, look at the paint job here. It almost looks metallic, like a hard surfaced material. It just looks so good. I've never seen detailing quite like this on any Playarts Kai figures. I mean, if they could do this type of sculpting and quality and paints on all their figures, I think they would produce much better products. But yeah, as you guys know, this isn't always the case with Playarts Kai figures, and sometimes they're a hit and miss, which is such a shame, because sometimes they don't make the best products themselves. They're the only company that have the Final Fantasy license. They don't let any other company make Final Fantasy products. I would say this character has a very different design from the rest of the Final Fantasy 15 characters. I was always, a bit confused why this character looks so different, because it looks almost like a character from Final Fantasy 16, for example. She looks very different from Noctis and the rest of the Chocobros, because they have a very black color scheme, whereas this character looks very, very different. But I think it's a great design and I love it so much. Such a cool character in the game. It's just such a shame that she wasn't in the game more. I just wish that we got to play as her in the game, and that her DLC came out. Such a shame that it got cancelled. But anyhow, I still love the character and what we've seen of her in the game. And moving down to the waist of the figure, we have the belts. With the hands. It's got such a cool design. Looks very metallic. And moving down here to the legs, we have this cloak piece which runs all the way down here. We even have some type of symbol on the bottom. And the legs, once again, all these armor pieces. And down here to these super cool high heels. And here's the back of the figure. And let's take a look at the hairpiece. So I would say the sculpting and the paint job isn't the best on the back of the hair. But I mean, you're not going to be looking at the figure from the back too often. So it's really not too much of an issue. And here is the clothing piece, all these bits of fabric and cloaks. So the cloak pieces are actually made out of a soft piece of plastic, and yeah, they're very bendy, so they don't restrict the articulation. But anyhow, here's a look at these shoulder pads. Very, very cool. And moving down here to the cloaks. Okay, so here's how she looks, holding the staff piece and with the helmets. So the helmet is made up of two pieces. We have the front piece and this back piece here, which runs all the way down here. Now, I don't really like this helmet because it's kind of tricky to switch out, you know, the standard hairpiece for this helmet. And I found that these are side pieces on the helmet. They actually scratch the figure, they scratch the ears on the head sculpt, and they even take a bit of paint and even a bit of plastic off the ears. So yeah, I don't recommend switching out this helmet piece because I don't really think it looks that great, and I don't think it's worth damaging the figure. So yeah, this is my first time switching out this helmet piece, even though I've had the figure for many years. And yeah, I already regret it. I don't really think it looks great, and it's also kind of damaged the ears. So yes, I do not recommend switching out the helmet piece. Anyhow, here's a look at the staff of the figure. It's a pretty big piece, and it's also pretty heavy. I'm surprised that she can hold it in this position. Okay, so let's take a look at the articulation. But first up, I just want to give you guys a look at the spear. So this piece can actually detach like so. So we have two pieces. It just makes fitting the spear inside her hands a lot easier, and it just reattaches like so. So yeah, very, very nice piece. Okay, so let's take a look at the articulation. So the figure's got pretty good articulation, but I would say it is a little bit hindered by the armor and the cloak piece. So let's take a look at what we have here. So as for the head sculpt, we have a ball joint in there. As for the shoulders, we have these ball hinge joints, and these are pretty restrictive because of these shoulder pad pieces. Same goes for the elbows and the wrists. We have these ball hinge joints. Inside the torso piece, we have a ball joint in there, which is a pretty stiff joint. Same goes for the waist. We have a ball joint, pretty difficult to move. And here at the hips, we have these ball ratchet joints, which I find this side is okay, but this side is a little bit restricted by this cloak piece. Even though it's made out of a soft piece of plastic, it is a little bit restrictive. We also have a double hinge joint at the knee, and we have a ball hinge joint at the ankle piece. So yeah, I don't want to move the figure around too much because, you know, I don't want to break the figure. It's a very expensive piece. And here at the back we have this here, I guess it's a kind of headdress, like it almost looks like a tail, which is pretty cool. But this also has some articulation. So we have a ball hinge joint right here, 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 and here. So we have 4 in total for this piece. And this piece can also move quite a bit, so you know, you can pose it whatever way you want to have it kind of, you know, curling up, almost like a scorpion, which looks pretty cool. But yeah, I would say the figure's got pretty good articulation, but it just feels a little bit restrictive. And here's Aranea beside the rest of the Final Fantasy 15 figures. So I've got it displayed in the back right here, beside Cindy and Lena Freya. So these are the 3 female characters from Final Fantasy 15, and here we have the rest of the Chuck Bros. So we have Gladios, Prompto, 30th Anniversary Noctis, Ignis, and Prince Ulrich in the back. So yeah, that's a look at all the figures that Players Kai ever made from Final Fantasy 15. It's a pretty good lineup. I would say this is probably one of the biggest lineups that they've ever made from any Final Fantasy game. First, of course, being Final Fantasy 7 Remake and AC, which they've pretty much made all the figures for. But I would say this is probably the second biggest line. So yeah, I'm pretty happy enough with this lineup, and I think all the figures turned out great. So I'm going to be reviewing the figures in the line, so if you guys want to check it out, then it will be on the channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy, guys.